Hello viewers, this is Dr. P. Mary Anupama. In the previous part 1 of environmental pollution, we have studied about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution and marine pollution. And in this video, let us continue with the other types of pollution and the control measures. Noise pollution. Noise means that unwanted sound which offends us, that annoying sound which offends us, that we call it as noise. And in recent days, this noise has been increasing. See, it is perceived that noise it affects our quality of life also. Previously, we were at peace with the nature. Nothing of such sounds were there. But with time, as the noise is increasing, the behavioral pattern of people has changed. Okay, high sounds are causing traumatic things in the people. Their mindset is changing, the behavioral pattern is changing, and the hormonal release is changing, and that has led to lots of crime. It is said that in many countries, uh, this noise it has led to lots of issues, health issues in the people. And in few major countries, developed countries, this noise is also considered as a crime. You cannot create noise as you like. It is considered as the second one next to the crime. Okay, that is how they regulate the noise. And the units that are used for the measurement of noise is decibels. It is the finest sound that can be picked up and heard by the human ear. Decibel is the finest sound that can be picked up and heard by us. Okay, that is how it is measured. Those are the units of noise. Noise pollution, it is a result of the latest technological development. We have lots of sources of noise listed over here. Right from the basic transport things on the road, if a bus goes, there is noise. If a rail goes, there is noise. If an airplane is going, there is noise. Industries, wherever there are, you have lots of noises over there. And loudspeakers, if any event is happening anywhere, yes, you have lots of speakers. You have you want all those woofers having so much of decibels. If not, you will feel like as if you are deprived, as if nothing is happening. It is considered as a prestige issue nowadays. And apart from that, at home also we have tape recorders, televisions, all these things will be continuously just playing. All those record players and all at home nowadays, people come up with those home theaters. They just put up the music as they like, and they'll be disturbing the people around. They are least bothered about the people around. Okay, and noise, it's very high in cities, in the urban areas, as compared to the rural areas. In rural areas, it is quite less. They are at peace. While in the urban areas, because of this vehicular traffic and the lifestyle, noise has increased. And this noise pollution is also contributed by the increase in the scooters, increase in vehicles, buses. We have heavy vehicles moving, and even the jet planes, airplanes, all these trains, metros, all of them we have running within the cities. So all of them are contributors of noise. At home is entertainment is important for us. So all these things which you have seen, even the mixer grinder in the kitchen, all those household appliances, okay, they are the ones which make lot of noise. Okay, industries are also creating problems. So it is like a havoc to us, when there's today because of lockdown, yes, almost the streets are calm after 12 o'clock. But if not, it is like a headache where buses will be rushing, all the scooters, vehicles will be rushing, creating lots of air pollution as well as noise pollution. And when do you call anything as a noise pollution? We know that sound is measured in decibels. Noise pollution means if it is above 45 decibels, then it is considered to be harmful to us according to the World Health Organization. And noise levels of a few equipment, they are very high, noise levels of few equipment and vehicles, they are listed over here. For motor vehicles, it is 65 to 105 decibels. For heavy vehicles, it is 85 to 100 decibels. Airplanes, you can see 90 to 100 decibels. And even pressure cooker, our household pressure cooker, 65 decibels. And our grinder, electric grinder, which we use in the kitchen, 82 decibels. So here, if these decibels are increasing, if the noise it's increasing, what it will cause? First thing is people will start feeling this stress, tension, illness, and at times it can also lead to heart attacks. Then next one is if the decibel is further increasing, it can cause high blood pressure, disturbances in sleep, sleeping pattern is disturbed, and even psychological stress. And if still high decibels are continuing, if it is more than 100, then it can lead to ear diseases. Like people, hearing is reduced, hearing percentage is reduced. Noise pollution, it affects our physiology also. The physiological effects that we see are it can affect the circulation, increase circulation because of restlessness, increased respiration, disturbances in digestion, nervous system is also affected. Loud noises, frequent exposure to loud noises, it will lead to these peptic ulcers, gastrointestinal problems, it can lead to allergies, nervousness in the individuals. So noise slows down even the process of development of the child mental uh, things, mental developments and all. Birth defects in pregnant women are seen because of this noise. And loud and continuous noise, if it is taking place, yes, definitely it will speed up the heartbeat, leading to heart attacks also. And control measures that we can take, yes, vehicles they can be fitted with silencers, and even the walls of the houses, even office buildings, cinema halls, factories, all of them we can insulate them, we can have sound absorbers so that the voice doesn't go out. And usage of speakers in the public places, in the places of worship or in parties and all, it should be restricted. Education institutes like schools, colleges and hospitals, they should be away from the city places, they should be in the outskirts so that noise will not reach the children. And workers in the industries, they should be given proper earplugs. If not, because of continuous exposure to this, they'll be getting all sorts of gastrointestinal problems and then nervous disorders. And the industries, they should have what is known as this green belt. They can have green belt of ashoka trees or neem trees, eucalyptus trees, and these should be planted on either sides of the highways where roads are there, because of vehicular traffic. These will be absorbing those sounds. And industries, the buildings, big buildings, wherever you have, in the colleges, schools also, you can have such eucalyptus plantations so that they absorb the sounds. And government should impose also strict rules on controlling this noise pollution. They should just give outright punishment so that people will regulate the decibels that they are emitting in their households or in the vehicles or in the industries. Next one is thermal pollution. Yes, the atmospheric pollution it has raised, and that has in turn increased the temperature globally. And this because of the release of those hot vapors from the nuclear power plants, the industrial effluents, gaseous emissions, the nuclear reactors and their emissions, the coal which is fried in the power plants, the hydroelectric power plants which use this hot solid waste and the liquids that they emit, the domestic sewage plants, all of these they'll be emitting some heated up things, and these contribute to thermal pollution, or we call it as heat pollution. The causes for the thermal pollution by man, they are the altering vegetation car and runoff patterns. And the next one is discharge of this domestic commercial industrial heated waters directly into the rivers and lakes without cooling them. Both these are the major reasons for thermal pollution. The industrial waste which are having those high temperature waters and all, if they are released into the water bodies, that will be increasing the temperature of the water. So even if 1 degree centigrade rise is there, that will affect the water quality, that will affect the fauna and the flora, that is aquatic life, especially those corals, and some sensitive organisms will be there in the seas and in water bodies, they'll be dying off. And the hot components released into the water, what they do is they increase the temperature of the water. If water temperature is increased, even it will affect the dissolved oxygen levels. Dissolved oxygen levels will decrease. So here what happens is this in turn will affect the respiration rate of aquatic organisms. So the respiration will be lowered and slowly they'll be dying off. So the rise in temperature, it also changes the physical and chemical properties of water. The basic properties of the water, even that is changed because of the heated effluents which are coming from us. And what is the control measure? Industries, they should have these cooling towers. They should employ them, and they should reduce the temperature of the water. They cannot release hot water just like that. So after cooling through the cooling towers, then only they have to release into the water bodies. And the hot water, it should then only be sent into rivers and lakes, or else they should be suggested that they have to cool it, treat it, and then only they can send it. If not, they should not send it. And even here in the case of electrical energy productive machines, they should have good efficiency. Their efficiency should be increased, so that water which is required for their cooling, that will be reduced. And here also they should cool it, they should cool the water which is used and release. And one more thing is, they can go for this productive modern engineering designs, and even temperature controlling models will be there. If they use them, then definitely this thermal pollution, it can be reduced. Nuclear pollution. Nuclear pollution is because of the waste which are released from this atomic reactors and the related power plants. Okay, nuclear accidents like nuclear explosion or any bomb blast which are taking place, all these, they contribute to nuclear pollution. And these nuclear power plants, they produce lots of radioactive waste. They'll be using radioactive substances and they'll be producing radioactive waste. And these radioactive waste, actually they are supposed to carefully store them. If not, during their decay, they'll be releasing radiations into the environment. And if these waste, if they find their way into the water bodies, like into the rivers, then definitely they'll reach the crops. They'll reach all those domestic animals, and even they can reach us through the food chain. So the waste, it has to be healed from this. If it is released from these nuclear plants, if this industrial waste, if this nuclear waste is released from these nuclear plants, then it will also contribute to thermal pollution. It will heat up the environment. Okay, so it's not just nuclear pollution that these nuclear power plants are doing, they're even causing thermal pollution. The consequences of nuclear bomb blasts and explosions. So if any nuclear bomb blast is happening, it will release huge amounts of heat. Lots of heat is released. A lot of temperature will be released from in that area, and that will destroy the living forms over there. And you also can experience this devastating shock waves. Like, it is almost like an earthquake that will affect the individuals. And you can also see release of this deadly gamma rays. These will be released into the atmosphere. All of these can harm all sorts of living forms. And the dangers associated with the nuclear explosion. The primary danger is the death rate. You can see 90% death rate within half a mile, and 50% from half mile to 1.5 mile. And even structural damage will be there within half mile. Almost all the structures will get collapsed. Soil will become unfertile. Exposure to radiations, it will cause skin cancer to the people. And the skin will lose its greasy texture. And you can also see tumor development in human beings. And these effects, they last for more than 30 years. Okay, and most important of these are the delayed effects like this cancer, even fetal blood diseases like leukemia, fetal blood diseases like leukemia, you can see them. And inhalation of these radioactive decaying substances, they can cause lung cancer. And if these are reaching us, if they are ingested through the food, it can cause bone cancer, joints get affected. And stillbirth, babies born will be dead. And the radioactivity, it affects all parts of the body. Even the fetus is affected, so thereby the life itself becomes a miserable thing because of this nuclear waste and radiations. And how do we control them? The first thing is, these reactors, they should have this heavy shielding, so that it prevents leakage of this radiations. And preliminary treatment is to be done for this nuclear waste, and proper disposal practices should be there. and human error is causing all those consequences. So minimal human error has to be there when anyone is working with this nuclear power plants. You cannot risk lives, you cannot risk loss of property. Now let us understand our role as an individual to prevent the pollution. Cleanliness is the worst enemy for any disease. Hence, everyone they have to maintain that self hygiene, and community facilities they should be made available for all the people. Like they should have that common places for bathing, public toilets, all such things, so that unnecessary defecation anywhere it can be avoided. Next thing is vegetables and fruits. They should be washed thoroughly and eaten. That is how you can avoid entry of pesticides into your body. And then septic tanks, plumbing, drainage systems, all these they should be under specialized guidance. And if any unwanted things are there, in a very disciplined way, we have to discard them. Okay, and you should clean the articles if required. Then the wastewater stagnation that should be avoided. You can provide those soak pits and all like this. You can have those underwater groundwater recharge pits so that water goes there and then it reaches the groundwater. The groundwater aquifers they'll be recharged. And daily at home, the floors they should be swept and garbage must be properly disposed. And even this chemical pollution at home, we can avoid it. Use proper detergents, cosmetics, insecticides, perfumes, all these things will be buying. Food preservatives, substandard edible oils, you should avoid them. Degenerated foodstuffs, yes, you have to check it. And smoke habits also, smoking habits, these are to be checked at home. Then coming to plantation, yes, definitely plantation should be done at home wherever you have small places. In the kitchen you can have a kitchen garden, and outside also, like in the gardens, you can have plantation in the streets, in the community centers. Encourage such plantation. And if you have any wells at home, it has to be covered with slabs, and intermittently they should be chlorinated. And at home, the curtains, carpets, furniture, covers, all of them they should be kept clean. You should sun dry them and disinfect them. And coming to polythene, we know that already we have seen polythene takes a lot of time to disintegrate, around 200 to 600 years. So avoid that. Instead, go for usage of these jute bags, cloth bags, which are there. Then avoid use of disposable, use and throw plastics and all. Except for medical purpose, rest all we have alternatives. Let us think about that. Say for example, when you are holding some party, get some steel plates, or purchase some durable plastic plates only, which you can reuse. So like that we can avoid, don't just dump the plastics outside. Don't use any disposable glasses. To the best extent possible, switch to steel. There are many people who are offering, such things where they give you steel plates, glasses, and those bowls for lease. So you can rent them and then you can give it back, so that you are contributing to the environment. And also encourage this non-conventional energy resources wherever possible, and whenever possible at home, go for usage of the solar lanterns, solar heaters, geysers are there. And in the like windmills and all, yes, it's a community activity. And even this kerosene stoves, firewood, cow dung usage, all these they should be avoided. Even in the villages, they're still using this cow dung and firewood because this causes lots of pollution. Okay, and you should ensure that even the kitchen is properly ventilated. If not, because of combustion of all these things, it will release the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which can cause bronchitis in the women. And one more thing is, we have to use proper watts of light. Excess of lighting is not required at home. Okay, we can use LED based things. Nowadays we have LED based things which have come up. LED based lightings, slim lights have come up, which are of less wattage but they give us full light. Then coming to purchase of these electrical appliances and all big appliances, will be using all these stoves, refrigerators, washing machines, dryers, and all. Okay, and ensure that they are serviced, causing minimum pollution, minimum thermal pollution. And when you are using these refrigerators and all, don't leave the doors open. Okay, and when you are using these air conditioners, ACs, ensure that you put a temperature of around 28 or 29. That's it, that is sufficient. Thereby you'll be avoiding thermal pollution. And these particular things, they have those coolants, na? These coolants, they also are contributors. The CFCs, they are contributors for ozone hole depletion. Excess of heat, if it is produced in the kitchens or in the houses, it will lead to fatigue. So minimize that, especially in the kitchens. Cook it in sim. Don't put it in high flame and cook it, because it's not good for health. And in sim, if you are cooking, it is good. The food quality is retained. And if you are working in poor ventilation, it will cause high levels of indoor pollution. We call it as indoor pollution. So keep the doors and windows open, and maintain proper air conditioners and all. Air conditioners, they should be maintained very properly, cleaning. And if at all you cannot do any such thing, use exhaust fans. If you don't have proper windows in your kitchen, use exhaust fans and get rid of those wastes and all. Then one more thing is, when you're using these speakers uh, in public meetings, or in temples or churches, wherever it may be, the sound should be minimal. The people in that vicinity, in that particular place where you are holding the meeting, they should hear it, not everyone in the world. And the noise pollution from the vehicles, yes, they should use silencers, and they should minimize the noise levels. Then utilization of fertilizers and pesticides, they should be minimal to the best extent possible, because they are causing soil pollution. And the waste, it starts covering the soil, the upper layers of the soil, and the upper layers of the soil, they get affected. And frequently we should organize these seminars and workshops, creating awareness among the people about the levels of pollution that we are causing, and the impact of that on us, and then on the other living forms also, they should know. Then the citizens, they should demand, they should demand from these civil authorities about this waste disposal things. And they should ensure that these authorities, they do their duties in a responsible way. And the individuals, they can join some good environmental groups, they can share the information, they can gain knowledge and implement in their place, in their vicinity, and educate others. And main thing is, teach the children, tell your friends, tell your neighbors about the environment and their role, what they can do to become responsible, eco-friendly citizens. So let us all try to implement the principles of sustainable living, and thereby contribute to better living of other living forms. It's not just about us, it is about every living form. Everyone has to survive, and even we have to survive. So let us implement these sustainable living practices. Thank you.